Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Sorry it took a little while longer than I wanted. I had to get up to speed on all the stuff that was taking place in the elections. Mexico is having a election extravaganza. There's no other way to call it. You talk about revolution. And I don't mean just because the person who, well, let's say potential for revolution, revolutionary potential. All of the seats are up for grabs all throughout Mexico. I'm reading, I'm like, there's no way. Yeah, thousands of seats are up for grabs in Mexico. The person who wins, Obrador. I pronounced his name wrong. They call him AMLO. Some people call him the American. He's not from any of the two major parties. This is the first time in, 70, 80, some ridiculous amount of time, that anyone from any other major parties has won. So you can imagine this is somewhat of a historic victory. He's been outside of politics. The last time, apparently, he got with a hair's length, and he called the elections fraudulent, and he shut down one of the main squares for months on end. He's won. This says it puts him out in front, but in the other one it gave him the lead. Let me find the other one. Right here. Exit polls puts López Obrador in front. Oh, this is not updated. This is not updating. Why are they behind? Leftists almost set for a historic landslide victory. He landslided them. Not even close. Think about that. Do you know the level of failure that it would take for the two major parties that have always been in power to fail? And not just fail in a landslide victory. They got demolished. Why do you think that's true? Why do you think that's the case? They weren't finding solutions. Mexico is in this kind of pressure cooker. And look, the gentleman I had on the other day, we're talking about this kind of revolutionary potential in times of chaos. That when things are good, the society, for the most part, can bribe the society to shut the fuck up. No, I'm not going to give you a lot of the resources, but I will give you enough to eat your Cheerios, have sex with your wife, play your Xbox, and go about your way. But what happens when that's not enough? When you're under violence, and there's drugs, and there's corruption, and you're like, this needs to change! This needs to change. Well, in their case, they had what may be a political revolution. And they found somebody who was an outsider. Now, from his case, he would make the argument, I'm the only one that fixed this problem, even though he's being somewhat scant on policy details. But he's looking for solutions that go beyond the box of the normal paradigm to which have existed. The other parties have called the guy socialist, populist, and everything else, and saying he can't be trusted with the economy. This is the argument that they always use against people who are on the left, like a Corbyn or even a Sanders. It's nonsense. They use this argument because at the end of the day, they would like income inequality to remain what it is. They would like the disparity between the haves and the have-nots to remain what it is. And yeah, he's taken office and he's been given this kind of mandate to fix this shit. I love it. I love the term mandate. Because at that point, it comes in with an iron hand in order to say, I am the avatar of the will of the public. How dare you stand in my way? And it gives you a certain amount of authority when the public has put you in that office. He landslided these guys. These guys have been in office forever. Forever. Oh, mandate. Mandy. Like, fucking love Mandy. This is, just to give you a heads up of what's taking place, because this is mind-blowing. If this was in America, my head would be exploding right now, and I hadn't been paying attention to it. This has been happening south of the border. In total, there are a whopping 18,000 elected posts up for grabs, according to the Mexico's National Electoral Institute. All seats in Congress, both in lower house and in the Senate, are up for election. In 30 of Mexico's states, there will be elections for the state Congress and mayors as well. Moreover, residents in 8 states in Mexico City will cast their votes for governor. Look at this! This is a fucking political whirlwind! All of the stuff that's happening at once. all of the members of Congress are up for grabs. You could literally change your government overnight in a fucking whim. Think about that shit. That's amazing. I'm wowing over this because there are political consequences for no continuity in this sense. Now, there could be continuity if people like what they're doing, but the people in this scenario have a chance of saying, we are emphatically against this. Emphatically. And it's possible, I'm not going to go into the minutiae of the details of each election, but if he's winning by margins like this, then the people who he wants in office may actually get in office, meaning that mandate may have a force of political will and legislative will behind it. Mexico will be the place to watch. This is going to be amazing. If you want to wonder, hey, how could this guy landslide him like this? There have been near 30,000 deaths. Not to mention, you're talking about some areas of Mexico where the cops collude with the drug gangs. As you have like mafia and cops working in tandem. And even from an economic standpoint, companies don't want to work in Mexico because fucking drug crimes and these gangs. So the question is, you are an incoming president. You've been given a mandate by the public to say, make this shit stop. And the last two parties have been talking about it, but not been able to do anything, have been increasing the violence, using military and everything else. None of it has worked. Make it stop. We just want it to stop. That's why. It's the stress that's put on the society itself for that society to say, we need something different. This other shit ain't working. In America, you have this weird scenario where the majority of people want something else, but haven't been put under enough stress and pressure and hardship where they're willing to say, we're done with the party apparatus. Not realizing that if they got to that point sooner, they could be done with the party apparatus. This choice that keeps us in this. What choice to the degree that there's choice? Alright, so let's see. I'm going to follow the election itself, and because I'm more interested in the election. 3 candidates are running. If I'm not mistaken, these other candidates have bowed out at this point and have conceded to the failure. Alright, right here. In 2000, its tradition rival, the conservative... let's go up here. Since 1929, when the Institutional Revolutionary Party was found, it has dominated Mexican politics. For 71 years straight, from 1929 to 2000, its presidents governed the country uninterrupted. In the 2000s, its traditional rival, the Conservative National Action Party, came to power. For the next 12 years, it came under President Vicente Fox, and then under Felipe Calderon. I'm bad at saying it. I tried to say this right. It's Calab. I said that a little bit easier than the Spanish. The Pan was at the helm. It was during these years that the Mexican government declared a war on drugs, and the casualties in the battle against Mexico drug powerful cartels shot up. Neither the PAN nor the PRI, which won the 2012 election, and its candidate, Enrique Pena Nieto, have been able to get the violence under control. What is different about 2018 is that the candidate, who is neither from the PRI nor the PAN, looks set to win. He is Andrés Manuel López Obrador, a 64-year-old left-wing politician who says he will revolutionize Mexican politics. Apparently unabashed to the left. A win for him would be a political earthquake in a country where almost all voters alive today have never been governed by a president who was from neither the PRI or the PAN. This is why Mexican politics, or this is why there's an eye on what's taking place in Mexico right now. Apparently the guys won. And the question becomes, what the hell is going to take place in Mexico? Just for more context on why people might have stepped outside their normal confines in order to say, we need something else. The elections have been held against a backdrop of record levels of violence, with official figures suggesting more than 25,000 people were killed in Mexico in 2017. politicians have been far from immune. Between September, when registrations for candidates opened, and the close of campaigning on 28th of June, 133 politicians were killed, according to figures gathered by a consulting firm. Most of these were killed running for local government's posts, where campaigning in areas of drug cartels often wield more power and influence than local law enforcement, and where local law enforcement colludes with gangs. Imagine a situation where politicians saying, yeah, we're going to try to clean up these streets. And he gets a visit and says, hey, I don't want you, accidentally falling down and breaking your neck or anything. So, just be careful out there. Just be careful out there. Shit like that. Let's keep going. One of the things many voters said they would like to see was an end to the violence. How to bring about that will be the biggest challenge for the candidates who will be sworn in Mexico's new leader on December 1st, 2018. So yeah, AMLO. Jeff Sessions is responsible for continuing Mexico's corruption and crime problems. He didn't start it, but his policies undermine the solution. I think you're talking about the drug law stuff. Look, part of Mexico's issue in an odd way, you've always heard me say, it's hard to solve a problem at the point of the problem, or at the point of one of the tentacles of the spider, or one of the tentacles of the what is tentacles? Octopus. Fighting it at the end is not necessarily the thing that actually helps the problem itself. It's like I'm cutting off this arm, and yet the octopus still exists. This is kind of one of those issues. It's how do you affect a market, a massive market that's created from the United States demand for drugs? How do you stop that? I mean, that demand is there nonetheless. There's always going to be an impetus. It's almost like electricity or like a potential, where the potential builds up to a certain amount and then it jumps, the spark jumps. There's always going to be somebody there who says, I can make a lot of money. Fuck it, I'm going to make that money. What do I need to do to make it? Depending upon the amount of money that you can make, increases the amount of potential or incentive there is to do it. And it also increases the amount that you're willing to put into it. Maybe you are okay with having a drug gang if you know that drug gang is going to allow you to make massive amounts of profit. You have a massive market in the United States. Why are people pretending as if that doesn't exist? Can we stop pretending that Mexico's problem is purely a problem for Mexico? It's always aggravating to me. The problem for Mexico in regards to drugs is not specifically limited to Mexico. We're a united world. And we're two countries that are side by side with one another. In this case, one country has a demand for a product, the other country supplying it. The drug laws in the United States that outlaw drugs influences and stimulates the market in Mexico. What happened if drugs were no longer illegal? What happens when you legalize pot all throughout the country? You drain support from the market that's taking place in Mexico from criminal gangs and everything else. Yes, the other drugs are there, but my rule, get rid of all the drug laws. Just saying. The problems of Mexico are not Mexico alone. And any president that's coming into Mexico has at the very least acknowledge and understand that, or otherwise the problem is going to persist. Using military and police to try to solve a problem that is not solely in Mexico is never going to get solved. Can we stop pretending that? This is so fucking aggravating. And Donald Trump comes out and is like, yeah, they're rapists and drug dealers. Rapists and drug dealers. Because your country is full of drug users. That's why they're full of drug dealers, if you're going to call it that way. It's fucking aggravating. I insist Jamal does more regular Mexican coverage. Maybe. They're our neighbor. Why not? They're our neighbor. Won't you be my neighbor? Jamal, Mexicans are not a race. Mexicans are a nationality. Quit calling Trump's policy racist. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. Hey, xenophobic, hateful, bigoted. What do you want me to call it? I understand you want to say they're not a race. Fair enough. They're a class of people, and that class of people would be considered a particular race. No, it may not be called Mexican. I forget the exact scientific phrasing of it, but you know what I mean. I'm using that shit as shorthand. And Brazil's election is in October. Brush up on Lula. I do know about Lula, the one they were putting in prison for all that fucking corruption that's in Brazil. The guy who... Yeah, I'm not going to go there. Supply and demand, key point of capitalism. Yes, Peter version 1. Mexicans are a race. Human race. God damn it. Popilski. Thank you for trying to rescue me on that, Popilski. A dingo ate my baby. Have Rational National do a Canadian news segment. He's from Canada? I know who he is. I don't get a chance to watch as many shows because I do my own and I'm always looking for content, but I'm aware of him. Yes, 12-year sentence. That is amazing. And by the way, Tabitha, I invited Atkinson on his show. I haven't heard back from him. I don't have a magnificent clout, so but I did invite him on the show. That's amazing. 12-year sentence. That's amazing that flies. I mean, corruption sucks, to say the least. People don't realize it. That was a coup d'etat. I mean, ultimately, they got rid of one person. I can't think of her name. Silma. Yeah. They got rid of Silma. And then the guy who stepped into place, their politics is not like ours. So it's not like your vice president is somebody who may be in your party. Your vice president may be in a party that is not your same party, in which case, what took place here? The person who was running against them was of the Workers' Party, got him arrested and locked up. A bunch of the people in the government itself have cases on them that in no way stop them from prosecuting political. Yeah, it's insane. I can't do the details of it because I know it's like I know scattershot of it. I know Glenn Greenwald covers it, and I don't know like name by name. I just know the basic threads of what's been taking place, and it is fucking amazing. Delma, yeah. I hope he says leave, and then the United States suffers. You know, it's interesting. I don't know what his policy is on NAFTA, because NAFTA did hurt Mexico to some degree. I mean, I know these guys are fighting for it. Canada and all this other stuff. Canada, the United States are in this kind of war over it, but so is Mexico. Trump wants to be able to leave NAFTA, or the investor state dispute settlement part of the contract, to take it or leave it. They're in a struggle for it. People hired Trump to throw a brick into the wall of the establishment. He's fucking up world order from the standpoint of our relationships with our allies. It's possible that he may lead the World Trade Organization, which is what it is. He's having a trade war at this point, where countries of Europe and the United States are literally putting taxes on each other from the items that they're trading. And he's taken us out of the Iran deal, with the United States threatening to sanction countries now in Europe. You wanted to throw a brick at the world order. You got it. Now countries are fighting one another in regards to trade. This is fucking amazing. But hey, he's a capitalist. And if he thinks he can get 1 red cent more at the expense of somebody else's, he's going to do it. AMLO was a lefty in the race. Yes, he was. The catch is, what is he going to do? I hope he shines. I really does. Not just that. I hope, with a victory like this was a landslide. Shit, I could move from the page. But with a landslide like this, I'm hoping that those same people that came out to put him in that office also had the temperament to put in people who were similar to him in Congress or in their government. I want him to be able to get a firm hand to be able to enact the policies that he wants to enact without people fucking around. Meaning, what is the vision that he has for Mexico, and let him do that shit. Not incrementalism. Be a Republican. But on the left. Meaning, if you're enacted to do something, full stop, go. Just head off. Off to the races. They put me in this office for a job. I was put in with this mandate. Mandy, I'm going to do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. This exposes the great lie about the Trump-Mexican border wall. It was sold to keep the rapists out. Ultimately, it's designed to keep us all in. Joshua Renshaw. You know the funny part about that? The amount of immigration, this is such a non-issue. The fact that we're talking about this is aggravating to me. This is a non-issue. Immigration is not... They're making immigration a focal point. It's like you've set fires to South America for God knows how long, and then people are risking their lives, life and limb, in order to get here. And then it's, God damn it, these people keep coming to our country. Why don't you fix your goddamn country? Oh, the indignity, the ignoble past of the United States operations in South America, and this weird way in which we're so forgetful of what we've done, not regarding the history honestly. So, is Jamal coming out of the closet with his mandate obsession? No. No, I'm saying mandate. Yes, I have a mandate obsession from the standpoint of and Mandy, it would be a woman, it wouldn't be coming out the closet with it. But nevertheless, I'm saying mandate. Understand what I mean by that. A person takes office, and he's taking office with a firm stance where the public is saying, this is what we want. The public is screaming at the top of their lungs behind this person, this is what we want. Go and act what we want. We're the will of the public and we're behind you. Go and act what we want. That's mandate. I'm using a euphemism and calling that Mandy. I'm using that Mandy for sure. Mandy for sure. He has a mandate. I want him to go out and kick ass with that mandate. I'm just hoping you guys aren't sorely disappointed. I just hope you're sorely disappointed. Not mandate, Mandy. Mandy. No, I'm saying Mandy. Fuck. Fuck. Jamal, regardless of the BS, the United States does the vast amount of illegal immigrants cost more money than they make. No, I feel you. I totally feel you. And, look, this narrative that Trump is doing, this is for his base. This is not real life. It's not real life. All right, I'm gonna end this. This was fun, and yes, I probably should cover Mexican politics more. I'll try to make a mental note of it. It's not. Look, part of the reason I cover British politics is because I know what they're saying. Like, if I'm listening to Parliament, I know, what the Queen's English. It's enough like American English, real English. Enough like real English to I can figure it out. If you're listening to something like Galloway or some like Scottish accents or something to that effect, sometimes the accent could be rough, but ultimately you still figure out what they're saying. I know very tiny un poco Espanol, part of the Spanish Honor Society, sadly, because it was years ago. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end this. Wesley Walker, what's happening, Wesley? All right, guys, I'm going to end this. You all have a decent night. I'm going to be on Fault Lines Radio in the morning. It's going to be early. It's going to hurt. So if I'm like a zombie, forgive me. But I will be there, Fault Lines Radio. It's going to be like at 7:30, 8 o'clock to I think around 10. So see you guys then. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.